Alright, y'all, this is my last time frying bot James Kingdom. So let's just get straight into it, because I'm just finna debunk everything this nigga gotta say.
Peace and blessings, y'all. What's good, David? I thought you gave up, but I guess you got some help and you felt a little bit more comfortable coming with more zesty Jeffrey logic. Watch this, y'all.
And again, like I said, when I said Scottie Pippen didn't win much, it's because I'm factoring in that Scottie Pippen in his prime, without Michael Jordan on his team, only went to the second round with the New York Knicks. That's it. When did we start giving trophies to niggas for going to the second round? That's not even a deep playoff run, nigga. Stop. You sitting over here talking about some Jordan won nothing. And yeah, that is true. But again, you're also still being disingenuous because you're not factoring in on who Michael Jordan had to face in the playoffs in the first round when he was losing.
So there you have it. How can I be telling the truth and being disingenuous at the same time? There's no disingenuousness in this. It's just straight to the point, like I always do with you dudes. Jordan won nothing. Scottie swept the team in the first round. You just glossed over the fact that Scottie won the first round of the playoffs. Jordan didn't even win a game in 1987. He won one game in 1985, the year that you don't even want to count because you claim that that's his rookie year. That's why it's so funny. In 1987, Jordan won nothing, absolutely nothing, and you're making excuses for him. Like, that's bad, bro. This is why I said you have zesty Jeffrey logic. What you're telling me is that, Ajani, I understand that Jordan didn't win nothing without Scottie Pippen, but can you understand how that makes me feel? And because that makes me feel a certain type of way, I'm going to explain it and give it an excuse that you, Ajani, must accept. No, I don't. It's zesty Jeffrey logic. You gotta hold this man to every standard of being the GOAT like y'all do LeBron James. That's why I said there's no crying in the GOAT debate. Stop crying. Then you want to go back to the idea that Michael Jordan was facing the Boston Celtics in the first round. Another is zesty Jeffrey excuse. That's all it is. Why is Michael Jordan only winning 40 games? You blame it on his teammates. Here are the Chicago Bulls that won 40 games in 1987. You're claiming Charles Oakley is not good enough, although he's giving you almost 15 points per game and 13 rebounds per game, one of the best rebounders in the league. The Chicago Bulls have one of the best shooters in the league in John Paxson. They have one of the best drafted players in the draft in Brad Sellers. They have Dave Gorzine, who is a solid defensive anchor. The Bulls were second in defense. But you're being disingenuous because you want us to believe that Michael Jordan can't win with this. And you know why Michael Jordan can't win with this? Because he doesn't make his team better. He's out here putting up 37 points per game and shooting 28 shots per game. But let's look at the teams that had more wins than the Chicago Bulls in 1987. Let's start with this Indiana Pacer team. Here is the Indiana Pacers that won one more game than Michael Jordan in his prime. Scoring champ Michael Jordan. All-NBA first team Michael Jordan in his prime. Not young Michael Jordan. Stop making excuses for him. Chuck Person is taking this team and winning 41 games. Jordan can't. You don't know none of these dudes. You know Herb Williams? Do you know John Long? Do you know any of these guys? Do you know who Vern Fleming is? Do you know any of these dudes? I know you're going to say, oh, look, they got a bunch of double-digit scorers. Of course, because they don't have a 28-shot taker in their team. They have a guy who's the rookie, winning more games than Michael Jordan. Let's go to another team, the Washington Bullets, right? They won 42 games. Why Jordan couldn't win 42 games? Let's go see how they won 42 games and who was on their roster. It's Michael Jordan's nemesis, Jeff Malone. If you know Michael Jordan from the 80s, Jeff Malone be cooking Michael Jordan left and right. But of course, he's able to make the playoffs because he doesn't take 28 shots per game. He allows his team to be a team. He allows Moses Malone to be Moses Malone. He actually wins some games because he's playing team basketball, something Jordan couldn't do until he had Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen. That's the point of all of this. But again, who's on this team besides Moses Malone and Jeff Malone? You don't even know who Jeff Malone is, more than likely. But wait, let's go to another team. We got Michael Jordan's boy over here. The Philadelphia 76ers, where Charles Barkley was drafted a year after Michael Jordan. Let's see what Charles Barkley was doing to get 45 wins that Jordan couldn't get in 1987. Oh my God. Is he out here winning 40-something games with Julius Erving in his last year? Some Jordan couldn't do with George Gervin? That's what I'm saying, bro. You be making excuses. Again, Jordan was out here jacking up a bunch of shots. That's why the Bulls couldn't win games. That's why Phil Jackson had to change the whole offense and the whole system. That's why Doug Collins got fired. Again, you're getting exposed by the exposer. There's more from this guy. He has more. Again, you have nothing but zesty Jeffrey logic that I've been exposing for years. Like I keep telling y'all, this is GOAT James Kingdom.
Not. Jordan's team was not expected to be losing again. And again, you lying bot. The screenshot right behind you literally shows you the expected record. Niggas did expect these niggas to lose. That's why they expected them in 1985 to only win 39 games. In 1987, they were expected to win 43, and they only won 40. Niggas expected these niggas to be trash. Stop trying to switch the narrative, bro. Hey, but let's just say for sake of debate that 1987, the Bulls do win 43 games and they get the 6th seed. Do you not know if they had got the 6th seed, they would have had to face the 1987 Pistons, who eventually ended up losing to the same nigga Jordan lost to in the Boston Celtics, but they just lost to the conference finals in 7 games. So again, you sit over here taxing Jordan for not winning anything before Scottie Pippen was on his team is just flat out disingenuous.
And on cue, the zesty Jeffrey behavior starts. The name call and all this other stuff. Because again, they're all emotional, all upset because he's like, Michael Jordan's supposed to lose. Again, mind you, he said that if the Detroit Pistons would have faced the Bulls in 1987, Jordan would have automatically expected to lose versus them again. So he would have lost to that team 4 years in a row. And that would have been fine to David here. That's why you a zesty Jeffrey, man. You think you in a relationship with this man, man. You got to defend him at every turn. Y'all are the ones who say that we have to bring up the flaws. Jordan didn't win 43 games. He should have won 43 games. Then we wouldn't have this conversation, but he had a losing seasons. He didn't win a playoff game versus a team that went to the finals and lost. Just like Scottie Pippen in 1994 went versus a team that went to the finals and lost. So can we say the same thing for Scottie Pippen? Yo, bro, you are really getting exposed. This is really, really bad. You have the nerve to talk about Tony Kukoc in 1995 compared to 1987 Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley was averaging 15 points while Jordan was taking 28 shots per game. Tony Kukoc was having a great season, but so was Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley was having a career year as well. That's what I'm saying. You're making excuses for Michael Jordan. You're just making excuses. And the fact that you said that this Bulls team wasn't going to make the playoffs completely shows how much of a zesty Jeffrey you are. Because the worst team in the East to make the playoffs in 1995 was the Boston Celtics, who won 35 games. Not only did Scottie Pippen was 1 game away from that before Jordan joined the Chicago Bulls in 1995, they would have been over 500 as well because they were already over 500. The Bulls were going to win more than 42 games. So at the end of the day, he still would have had a winning season without Michael Jordan, without Horace Grant. Now imagine that with a Tony Kukoc, a second-year Tony Kukoc. Something Jordan could have never done and probably would have still won a playoff series as well on top of that. Because that's what Scottie Pippen does. Again, Scottie Pippen has the most playoff series wins as a Chicago Bull. He has the most playoff wins as a Chicago Bull. He has the most championships as a Chicago Bull. Y'all getting upset. And overall, he has a better career than Michael Jordan outside the accolades when we're just talking about stats and winning. So y'all gotta stop disrespecting Scottie Pippen. That's what you're doing, disrespecting Scottie Pippen. We're putting Scottie Pippen in his proper place, like we do all players. And MJ is now in his proper place because he was a known loser, and that's thanks to David for letting everybody else know it outside of GOAT James Kingdom. And with that being said, young man, hopefully you have a nice couple of days because this one's gonna burn. Start watching basketball. Starts tonight. Catch GOAT James Kingdom on Playback TV on Casual Reacts as we will be watching and talking basketball. I'm Ajani the Exposer. Best takes, you have officially been exposed by the Exposer.